I just wanna talk about this thing that's in my brain. It keeps me from wanting to go on, but I want some gain. Maybe a little fame. Yeah, oh yeah.
Let her rip, Andrew.
Let her rip. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We the Patriots podcast. My name is Andrew. I'm your co-host today alongside Mr. Salvatore, who is your main host, I should say. His face will probably look a little bit more familiar today, but we have a great guest here today. His name is Backflips and Bikes Kevin.
You did it again.
I know. That was quite on purpose. But it's going to be a wonderful show.
That's good. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful show. Let's
Good vibes already.
Good vibes already. I'm loving it. Well, I'm absolutely loving it. So what did you want to talk about today?
Dude, I didn't have anything planned, man. I'm just glad to have Kevin back on here, dude.
Pleasure to be
The
back.
first time he came on was probably my favorite show that we ever did. One of,
That was a
if
good
not
one.
my favorite, just because of the content that we had. Right? There's people that I had more in-depth conversations with, sure.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I mean, we got cut short because the battery died.
it
On
did.
one of, it was either your battery died or
we
your
went-
SD card got filled.
Yeah, we went audio only for a little bit, too.
If you all haven't
Last
noticed,
few
here at We the Patriots podcast, we have constantly been working hard at making upgrades to all of our equipment and our
Absolutely.
location. If you haven't noticed, we are in a brand new location. It's my first time filming here.
It's my first time, technically,
Yeah,
in the studio.
that's true.
For We the Patriots.
We've been working really hard at this. This has been a long time in the making,
Absolutely.
and we're really upgrading our gear, looking into different editing softwares, and just trying to make it a more user-friendly and nicer visual experience for everybody watching or listening if you're on Spotify or listening on a podcast format. So we really appreciate you guys sticking around for it, and
Absolutely.
lots of love.
I mean, if you can't tell, we are in a different room.
We are.
If you went over to Danny's show, if you noticed, Danny's Sport Talk, we did a little test run on this.
Yeah.
So you would have got a sneak peek. You went over there. But, I mean, we're here, gentlemen. And
Yeah, we're doing
it. I'm so happy that we got it.
Me too.
And now it doesn't look like I'm in my bedroom.
Even though it's like 10 feet that way.
Literally 10 feet that way. I can punch a hole through Lorenzo's room at the moment.
There you go.
But, dude, it's awesome, man. It's so good to have you guys here. So, so Kev, what have you been up to, dude? I know you've been doing a lot of shit.
Yeah, so since the last podcast, I've been pretty busy. I'm wrapping up school right now. I'm going to get my associates in welding.
Nice.
I'm actually going to follow up, keep doing more of the art stuff. So I'm actually repping my own brand now,
Yeah, there
Kahwaty
you go.
Customs. So after I get my associates in welding, I'm going to go down to Georgia, study visual effects and animation for a little bit.
Very nice.
And it's actually what I started going to school for after high school. And
When you went up to, was it Rochester?
Rochester. But at the time, I just wasn't a big fan of school, was in a different mindset, needed to go out, do different things.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, so I actually, and what we're, the main topic, what we're going to fall back to.
I had to show you that.
Yo. Kevin, where the hell were we, man? You hated
Okay.
school. You hated school.
So I went to
you weren't in the
Rochester.
mindset. You weren't in the mindset.
Went to Rochester, wasn't in a good mindset for school, so I got into ROTC with the Army. So hated school, really enjoyed what I was doing.
How did you like ROTC?
I liked it. So
How was that experience for you? Because, you know, there's all the memes out there, the ROTC kids.
yeah,
But I can only assume because when I was looking into Texas A&M, that was basically the only way I was going to make it affordable. Was if I did ROTC, and it would be about 20 grand a year instead of 50 something.
yeah.
Which is still absurd.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
But for Texas A&M, you know, that's the only way basically everybody goes.
Mm.
I just didn't want to do it. So what was your experience there?
So I had a good experience. We had a master sergeant teaching the main class for pretty much like how to be an officer. So
Sure.
it's like it's an elongated form of OCS, which is like Officer Candidate School, and I know that's at least for the Marine Corps because that's what I'm currently in. If it's something different for Army, I'm not exactly sure on the terminology.
Okay.
But ROTC, did that with the Army. I was enjoying the classes, liked what I was learning. We ended up going out to Fort Drum in New York to run an FTX and we ran that in November, a few miles south of Canada. Freezing rain and snowing, no sleep over a whole weekend, and I loved it. I had a great time. Shot on the rifle range, did land nav day and night, and I had a blast. And at the time, that's what I wanted to do.
And just keep going with it?
Yeah, I wanted to go full gung-ho into the military. So my father was in the Marine Corps, and I didn't want to enlist. I wanted to enlist.
I remember you as a kid, you were like, I can't be like my dad. I didn't want to do it, but then you kind of...
No, actually, that is not true. I wanted to do it.
You did want to.
I wanted to be like my father. He talked me out of it. So same thing, I wasn't a fan of school in high school and all that. And come junior year and all that stuff, I didn't do any work on the ACTs, the SATs and stuff. My mother tried to get me to do all the testing, and she brought me to the testing and stuff, and I told her, don't do it, I'm not gonna do it, I don't care about it. So took me to all this stuff. I didn't do it, didn't care about it. And they were like, okay, what are you gonna do with your life then? I'm like, I want to enlist. So father, he did it. He enlisted out of high school. He went into the Marine Corps, he was a Harrier mechanic, so he was working in the air wings, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps, so that was my plan, and he talked me out of it. So I ended up, the alternative is pretty much either military, you go get a straight job, or you go to college and you follow the generic path of what everyone else does. So that was the route I was going to do. I didn't have any idea of what I would go straight to a job for, so that wasn't going to happen. So I went to school, didn't like it, started dipping my feet into the military aspect. So college and military is ROTC. So started doing that, summarize it, loved it, hated school, dropped out, enlisted, went into the Marine Corps. So it took me a few years to get in. I've got hypothyroidism, so it's something I was born with. So I got to take a pill every morning just to keep my thyroid levels where they should be. So once all that stuff finally settled out, they took me a year to get in, went down to boot camp, some shit hit the fan, I'll summarize it that way. Got discharged, re-enlisted into the reserves. So went through boot camp in 2021.
21, right?
21, I shipped back out for the second time to Paris Island. Right. And that's kind of where pretty much where my military career had its real start.
Right.
So, boot camp, it was interesting.
Really?
It was interesting, but...
In what way? In a good way? In a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay.
So a lot of people, for my first experience, it was fucking hell. Not good.
I remember you telling me, yeah, it was
not
a
good.
Day.
Yeah. But going back the second time, I was in a different mindset, having my toes already dipped in because I did a month on the island previously.
Sure.
And it helped out a lot. So I went down there pretty much knowing exactly what I was in for. So nothing was a shock, nothing was new. I knew how to hold myself. I knew how to hold my own. But the one thing where I really lucked out is my drill instructors were phenomenal. So
your second time around?
Second time around, when I went back in 2021, the drill instructors that I had in my platoon couldn't ask for better ones, because they pretty much all had some kind of combat experience. So they knew what the heart of the Marine Corps was. Everything is pretty much in the military is based around the infantry, because that's
yeah.
You can check out the new We the Patriots mini fridge.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Sponsored by whoever we want to be sponsored by.
Sponsor We the Patriots podcast.
We're looking for a sponsor. So
Sponsored by Kahwaty Customs.
if an adult if an adult beverage company would like to sponsor the We the Patriots podcast, we are more than open to doing business with us.
Absolutely.
Please DM us on Instagram, leave us a comment on YouTube, find us anywhere on any social. We'll be willing to work with you.
But
Absolutely.
I guess the best way that I could really like speak about how they were different from the others. So a lot of the other drill instructors, I feel like one of the big things is they really don't let you eat down there. Eating and sleeping is to a certain degree. So
In a way, they're also just kind of trying to train you for the worst of the worst.
that's exactly what it is.
You're not
You gotta
allowed
get
to
in-
talk, right, when you eat?
No. I mean, you're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed.
no.
Everything.
Explain this, because this was really interesting.
So what
today.
boot camp pretty much is you're taking people from all over the world, and I didn't even know this until I got down there. You don't have to be an American citizen to serve in our armed forces.
Interesting.
I did not know that, and
You
I
did.
was shocked. They were recruiting people out of Jamaica to
No
come.
shit.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there was one kid in my platoon who was not an American citizen, from Jamaica, spoke broken English.
Well, I guess he was a beast, though.
No.
Nah.
He was a good dude. He was a good guy. He was not a beast, though. There was another kid.
Was there, I feel like some of them got to be like tanks, and some of them just got to be like the ones trying to get out of a bad situation.
So there, I mean, you've got people from all different types of life.
Sure.
I mean, it's really the definition of a melting pot.
Wow.
So I mean, you had people like me who wanted to be there. There was guys who were gung ho about it, and those are pretty much like your infantry dudes. So
Sure.
there was me. There was a whole bunch of other guys who I enlisted into the infantry with, and pretty much those are all the guys I went through ITB with. So that was my second 3 months in the Marine Corps, and I'll circle around to that later. But then you get other people who were like lied to and signed contracts that the Marine Corps needed to be filled, and they were told one thing, and that's not the reality of the job.
Yeah, and that attitude kind of drags you.
Oh
drags down.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
That
mean-
demoralizes you more than anything, I'm sure.
yeah. You could see.
Like,
I
it
mean,
demoralizes the platoon as well.
Yeah.
Like everybody around you gets affected.
yeah. When
True.
you get into like the meat of it in probably more like the fleet. But like in boot camp, that stuff, you're not even thinking about like what your job is at that point. So pretty
Correct.
much what
Yeah,
what
you're
You don't even know.
You're just trying to make it
Yeah.
through.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
At boot camp for I'd say the individual is just making it through and getting off the island. So boot camp is you're trying to earn that title, United States Marine. For the drill instructors, what boot
it's like
camp
passing,
is.
It's like liberal arts, and then you fucking go into it.
Do
That's what they
whatever.
want you to do. Well, it's not even what they want you to do. It's what you have to do to get in. I feel like you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, but I mean, for me at least, like a lot of people, it's one, you don't have a choice. You got to make it through to do
Right.
the job, but making it through is when you transfer from being a civilian, not just to a military personnel, but that's, I'll put it this way, one of the statements that I've seen that recruiters use is you join the other branches, you become a Marine. So that's the big difference. Like,
Yeah.
I am a United States Marine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you
Right,
don't...
right.
They try to make
You
it a
don't go
personality
and-
trait instead of something that
Yeah,
you do.
and it is.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
I'd
a
say
big, it's a big catch,
Right.
and that's how they get a lot of people, and it works.
Yeah.
It works.
It does.
Because it's
you've
one of
got-
those. It's one of those things where it's like when people say, "Oh, this is what I do, not who I am." Well, with the Marine Corps,
That's who you
make
are.
it sound like, "No, this is who I am, and this is what I do."
Yeah,
Right.
it's that vice versa, or it's that flip flop. But yeah, like I was gonna say, like you don't join the Air Force to be an airman. You don't go into the Navy to be a seaman. You join the Marine Corps to become a Marine,
Right.
and that's a big selling point for a lot
That
of
is
people.
true.
It was definitely one for me. Yeah, probably right along with my father being a Marine
I was gonna
as
say,
well.
I'm sure with your dad being a
That's-
Marine, that's
Because
like,
if he wasn't, odds are I probably would have stuck out with ROTC.
I was gonna say ROTC or just gone infantry,
Yeah.
just regular army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
How about
dropped
just
out.
a big fucking congratulations for that, though? Because Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
what you got to be to meet the standards of a Marine man.
Not just that, but
Not
I
easy.
graduated top of my class.
Right.
So out of 600 kids in my entire company, I graduated number 1, and I got a meritorious promotion out of boot camp. So pretty much you contract, the most you can contract to is an E2, and I graduated as an E3, which is, I got into an argument on the drill deck. 2 days before graduation, they were reading our names, and they read me off as Private First Class Kahwaty, and I'm like, no, sir, that needs to be changed. And he's like, the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, the gentleman was a staff sergeant. Like, staff sergeant, I'm graduating as a lance corporal. And he's like, no, you're not. So I had, and this is another reason why my drill instructors were better than fucking anyone else. They had our backs. Like, everyone in the platoon,
Right.
like for the majority of us, there were some kids who were just shit bags. And there's some funny stories with that. But
Well, maybe we can get into something.
yeah, we could
Maybe get
definitely dip
something.
into that stuff. But no, like my senior drill instructor, he was a gunnery sergeant. Phenomenal. He was like the definition. What you picture a Marine, that he was him.
Right.
Jacked,
Man's man.
massive dude. Yeah. He would not be fucked with on any account. And
Sure.
he pretty much, like, we were his Marines, and he made that known to everyone. One of the other things that I talked about with, like, food, like, they rush you, they make you eat, like, stupid fast. It's ridiculous.
What happened though with that argument? Whatever happened with that?
No, my senior drill instructor walked in, told the staff sergeant pretty much to fuck off. My name was changed from Private First Class Kahwaty to Lance Corporal Kahwaty.
Oh, I love it.
They ended up taking my dress blues off base so I could graduate with my chevron, with my cross rifles. So, like, one stripe up is Private First Class, stripe up and crossed rifles is Lance Corporal.
Right.
So I was really happy to be the only person in the entire company to graduate with that.
Now, did you
Good
need
for you,
to
man.
graduate
Thank you.
as first of your class in order
To get that, yeah, that is
Get that, so if
the
you're-
only way to graduate as a Lance Corporal from boot camp is to be a contracted PFC and graduate number 1 in the entire
So you
company.
have to be the number 1. Okay.
Have to be.
Damn. Well, that's, I gotta say, man,
Yeah,
that
that
is
was
props
a,
to
That's
you.
very impressive.
But that just goes to show, you never told me that. That's how humble you are. But that tells me, like, you really are the Marine standard, man. And just congrats, but also, like, I'm so fucking proud to know that you were one of my friends growing up, and you became that.
No, I appreciate it.
If you're good, I think we should take a little break.
Like an onion layer. So I need to draw every single fucking frame.
Yep.
So I did like one like half-second animation, and it took me like 2 hours
Yeah,
to do.
it's crazy.
But After Effects is when I want to break into, for 2D at least, because I've studied. So when I was at Rochester, I studied with I was a 3D animation major. So I was working with a program called Maya, where you're creating 3D like sculptures and then doing the rigging and the modeling and stuff like that. But right now, I don't have those programs. I'm gonna, because I think they're teaching something. When I go down to SCAD in Georgia, I think they're teaching on a different program. They're using like Unreal Engine, I think, and Houdini. So Unreal Engine is what all fucking games are made in now. Unreal Engine 5, that's what they're teaching. So, and the one thing why I was sold on SCAD versus a lot of the other schools was they update all their equipment, brand new shit every 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's that. They've got something called I forget what it's called. XD filming or something, but there's like only 2 schools in the United States that have it. And only like major motion companies are using it. So what that is, it's pretty much like a screen, and you're combining animation and live action into one. So you'll have the actors in the set, and instead of them working behind a green screen and doing all of like the animation after, where you like film it. It's all done together, and you can animate the background in live time.
Okay.
So apparently that's now what a lot of TV and movie studios are moving towards, that type of filming. SCAD, I think, besides some college in California, is the only other school that has that technology. And honestly, now I'm really just looking forward to it. So I've been doing all my airbrush stuff. We spoke about that on the last podcast I was on. Breaking.
We are running, by the way. We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Oh, we aren't?
We are.
Oh, I was gonna say. Yeah,
The phone's running too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But yeah, so I've been doing the airbrush stuff. Being back at school, because I'm graduating this semester, and if I didn't overload my schedule, I wouldn't. So I'm taking 21 credits this semester. I'm in class from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Right.
So I don't have time to do the airbrushing like I'd like to. So I broke into making shirts and stuff. So with my cliff jumping that we talked about on the last podcast as well, I started doing some designs. Me and my good friends that I've been jumping for the past 3 years with now. We branded ourselves Beast Coast Cliff Jumping. Check it out.
For sure.
So we've got
description.
We've got 4 designs for Beast Coast. I'm about to launch some Kahwaty Customs merch within the next week or so.
Very nice.
I want to do another 4 designs there, so I'll have my branded logo. And then I've got another 2 or 3 designs that I'm still in the process of finishing up with that. So I'm doing that for side money, trying to break out and do some other stuff. So when We the Patriots launches their own store, yours truly will have done those designs.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to that launching, rep some We the Patriots stuff, some publicity in the streets. And now I'm really, from where I was in Rochester 5 years ago, I'm going back to school for pretty much the same thing, but I'm excited for it now.
Right, but you're actually...
That's
you're
a huge
actually
difference.
So I itched all the other shit I had to. The military was, it was something I needed to do.
Right.
I'm in it now. I'm going to finish out this contract. I'm going to do my time. But scratching that itch, I've pretty much come full circle around to what I was originally going to school for. And now I'm excited. So I'm looking forward to it now, which is the big difference.
That's huge. That's huge, yeah, because you're actually going to want to be there. It's a big, It's a huge, huge game changer, yeah, because you were basically dragged out to Rochester.
Yeah, in a manner of speaking, I wasn't a big fan going there, but I did it. Now I want to. So with welding, the thing that I've been split on for the past few months is, and I'm sure pretty much everyone in the world has come across this path, is do I either follow the money and not really enjoy it, or do I try and follow what I enjoy?
Right.
And I know, I mean, just how I grew up, if I don't like something, it will be brutal for me to do it, or odds are I just won't.
Right.
A lot of creative minds are like that, because I'm
Yeah.
also very creative, and you just described me to a T as well.
Yep.
So
I myself to a
I
degree
very, I highly resonate with that.
I agree almost completely, right.
So I'll have the associates. So worst case scenario, if something ever happened,
You can make money.
one, I could fall back to it. Odds are I would just go back and finish the bachelor's in it. And there's money there, but I'm sitting in my classes and I'm just sitting in them. I'm not interested. I don't find the information intriguing. And honestly, I'm just trying to think about what my next design is,
Correct.
what my next airbrush thing is, and that's where my brain has been for the past few years. So pretty much when I realized that, and that's all I was thinking about again, I'm like, I told my parents, like, so when I came back to school last semester in the fall, house classes going, I'm like, they're fine, but I gotta go back to my original path. So it's really come full circle. But I'm excited. I'll pick up that in the fall of 2023, and then hopefully my game plan is Punisher should hopefully be rebooted by then. So if I could get my ass on a project like that, that would be pretty badass.
Right.
So
pretty cool.
That's my game plan.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you have anything you want to talk about, bro? You did the intro today, man.
I did do the intro today. That's right.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, that's my contribution to the show thus far. But
I mean, we've never met before. But
we haven't.
Just
but
talking
I mean,
before the podcast.
Yeah,
you travel a lot.
Talking off the record, I do a lot of traveling. I have my own YouTube channel for that. Sort of. It's catered to traveling. Not really. It's like half and half that, half and half history about, the United States. But yeah, I've done a lot of traveling last year. I've been to Nevada twice, California, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, a lot of Pennsylvania, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia. Yeah, I've been around last year. It was great.
When you
And all
travel,
the years before.
are you flying and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
like hotels and stuff?
So it depends. A lot of times, like if I'm with my family, we usually tend to drive. We like to do road trips, but like
there's a good old like inside joke. That there's the Grasso van. Or
there is.
the Grasso bus.
I can't believe you still remember that. Do you remember that
Oh, so
from
that's
you
an
know
inside
where?
joke.
Oh my god, that was embarrassing as fuck. But
Why'd you say you know where?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you off the record. But no, that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, we've done road trips to, like halfway across the country to Oklahoma. We've driven to Florida. Recently, though, it's been a lot of flying. Like I flew out to Reno, Nevada in September. Flew out to Las Vegas in December. Flew to San Francisco in September. Flew to Phoenix in December. Flew to Florida in December as well. So it's been a busy couple of months for me. And it's been a lot of fun. I love it. I love every second of it. Every single
Traveling's
second of it.
amazing. I mean, you did a whole
Oh, a whole fucking slew of it. Yeah, I talked a lot
across
about
the
it on,
state.
Yeah, I mean, I should probably have my dad back on here now that we got cameras set up. But I talked a lot about it on our show.
The national parks.
Yeah, but I did 2 trips. So I did both driving. One was kind of more the northern part, going out west, and then I did more straight across and then came back south. So like the only thing I really haven't seen is like Florida, what's around there, and then...
You've never been to Florida?
No, but the national parks there. I've been to Florida a
So
few
like
times.
Everglades?
Right, so I haven't been to the Everglades and whatnot, but and the only other one on the kind of down there is the Congaree. I haven't been able to get to. Just keep missing it, basically. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically everything that's not the California and the total northwestern part, I've seen. Which is
So you did like Yellowstone,
no, I haven't
Yosemite.
gotten to see those yet. That's what I'm saying. So like getting up towards that corner.
Okay, so that's what you haven't
Right,
done.
so
okay.
like I haven't gotten to that because I know that's going to be like a few trips in of itself, especially California.
Well, like
those,
you want Yosemite to be its own trip.
its own trip, and Zion I want it to be not
Zion.
necessarily its own trip, but I want
But
to be
like
there for a few days.
I would
It's
even
one of
say
my-
like a week just to
like,
stay
that's-
there.
Zion's the
To
one
camp.
that I've always wanted to go
Yeah,
to.
it's
So like
beautiful.
that one I actually might make a trip
Like,
just because of Zion.
Redwood
you know?
and Zion too, though. Are at like I
Right, and Glacier.
and
Really.
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
I meant
Joshua Tree is the one I went to. That's in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
That's the
Glacier.
desert. That fucking sucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joshua
really.
Tree's not like I wouldn't make a trip for that, but Glacier I definitely want to go out to.
Glacier,
I want
yeah.
to go to
Crater-
Yosemite,
Crater Lake,
obviously,
too.
and Yellowstone.
Yep.
Joshua Tree is where I did my deployment prep.
Nice.
Oh, really?
So-
Okay.
So you just have a negative connotation of it because
it
of
sucked.
that.
It was 130
Because of that.
degrees, full flat, running up and down ranges.
Yep.
No.
Why did I join
did
the
not get to
military?
experience it.
Why did I join the military?
Yeah.
But hey, when I was in Reno, I saw a lot of beautiful Joshua trees and a lot of beautiful redwoods as well.
Yeah.
I got my pictures with them.
Kevin's just like, fuck that fucking place.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But I mean, have you been to many national parks or any? for that
No,
matter?
so I don't think I've been to any. I drove when I went to Colorado. This was now national parks you're allowed into for free with a military ID and veteran status.
Yes,
so
yes, you are.
So now I can go, but the only national park I think I ever passed was I was in Colorado for Cliff Cruise, which is a giant cliff jumping event where people all over the world come to. And it was in Colorado. We went from the bottom of the state to the top of the state, and I drove past the Great Sand Dunes National Park.
I might have a picture.
Colorado.
You
Yeah.
drove by it, or you
Yeah, I drove
actually-
by it, and I think
It's beautiful.
that's when you originally reached out to me. We had like a little gap for a few years, but you reached out to me and said you commented on my story on Snapchat.
Yes, I did.
And I think that's when we reconnected.
Yes,
but
what did you say? What was the place that you were at?
Joshua Tree?
No, the one that you drove by.
Oh, Great Sand Dunes? That's your picture?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if that is, because that might be White Sands. Because Great Sand Dunes was in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah,
White
that's
Sands
the
is
wrong one.
White Sands
I went
is
to
New
that
Mexico.
one too. I got to go see if I have pictures of that.
Yeah, so I didn't know it was there.
Sure.
And I was shocked. I was seeing signs for like Great Sand Dunes X miles away. And I was going right past it. I think I was heading up to Denver. And I drove past it and I'm looking and I see like the Rockies and I just see fucking sand. And I'm like, no fucking way.
It's really weird, isn't it? Like,
Crazy.
It's
right
a
up to
mind fuck. I was
Crazy.
shocked, and
Crazy.
I drove up. I wanted to go in and see, and I drove up to the gate, and they're like $30. I'm like,
What?
no. so I took a handful of pictures from the gate,
Yeah.
turned around and left, and kept going on my
Really?
trip.
I'm looking for. I don't know if I took any pictures at Great Sand.
Actually, I should
This
have
is
some
long
saved.
speak. Yeah, so like I'm in the Rockies at this point. I'm for sure in the Rockies.
How do you got your pictures on there already? iCloud?
iCloud. How impressive is that?
That is very impressive.
So I can go through all of these. Yeah, I don't think I took any pictures there, man. That stinks. I'm kind of upset at myself now because I don't.
That's the one thing I always feel like you get sucked into the moment, and you don't take any pictures.
Lorenzo has pictures from everything.
That's not me.
on
I
the
take
drone.
pictures constantly.
Well, that's what I started doing.
I was letting Lorenzo take a lot of these pictures though because he had the drone. So
Oh, you got a drone.
we got
I think it was originally, a drone was originally supposed to be my next investment instead of a laptop, but
They're not that expensive to get a decent one though. That's the thing.
I know which one I'm getting. It's going to
No.
be like
The one that the upgraded one that I have, right? You're gonna get the Mini 3.
the Mini 3
There you
Pro.
go.
Mini 3 Pro is one.
What do you got?
Great sounds.
Yes, that's so interesting. It's so interesting. It takes so long to get in there though.
It's crazy.
So long to get in there. So like we committed like no time to it, and then we realized how long it takes to get up in there. And we
Yeah.
were like, "Fuck
Dude.
this!" Turned around and got out.
I don't care what anybody fucking says. America is the most beautiful, diverse country in the world.
There's a crazy amount of diversity. I mean, if you think about like Florida to like where we are to like Acadia to the West Coast.
Florida to Maine to Ohio
Well,
to
Acadia
Texas.
is in Maine.
To, yeah, to that's right. To
Texas.
Oklahoma to North Dakota to
Damn fucking
even
good.
just
Mexico.
even
I mean,
just
look at California alone.
California
You got
alone,
desert all the way to like Washington.
or like the
Or
geography and topography in Colorado alone between sand
look at-
dunes
look
like
at
the
Colorado.
Sahara.
Look at when you exit there, you're going out Route 80, and it just gets fucking flat.
I mean, that's
You go
that's
into
North
Kansas.
Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kansas.
You go right into Kansas, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
Where
but
the fuck
Colorado,
did the
you got
mountains
like great rolling plains like Kansas. You got the Rocky
You do.
Mountains. You got sand dunes like you're at the damn beach. But
go?
in
You
like
got the
another
Gunnison over there.
one that people don't really talk about at all is Oklahoma. Everyone thinks that
Oklahoma, I haven't
Oklahoma.
been to.
Everyone thinks that Oklahoma is just strictly prairie and plains. That is not true at all. There are alligators in southeast Oklahoma.
Correct.
It's swampy. If you go
That's
a
where
little,
it gets close to
Texas.
Like Texas,
more like
Arkansas,
kind of
Louisiana.
area. Yeah.
you go north of there, eastern Oklahoma, it's very hilly and tree-like. Then you start moving west, and it gets like deserty. Like you see a lot of red dirt, red rocks.
Yeah. That's where you're pushing close to like New Mexico.
And then,
Right.
and then it'll be like grasslands, and you go even further west from there, and it's just like barren.
up in like the
desert.
Panhandle.
Up in the panhandle of Oklahoma, like Guyman, Oklahoma, Woodward, Oklahoma. It's like deserty. You'll like literally see tumbleweeds there. And then you go like southwestern Oklahoma. There's actually a mountain range that runs through there too.
Jeez.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. The
I
Wichita Mountains.
cliff jumping is what got me hooked on traveling,
Yeah.
and like I was always into it, but the road trips, that's what's got me hooked. Because you said
Dude, I'll go on. We'll fucking go on one with you.
Dude, road
It's-
trips
It is
to
my
me.
favorite fucking thing to do,
Mhm.
without a fucking doubt.
He probably moves a little too quickly for me on road trips. I like to take
I
my
like
sweet
to
old
jump.
That
time.
wasn't my fault. That was mostly Lorenzo's fault.
Oh, that's
mostly Lorenzo's
that's
fault.
probably
Because
true.
when I went with my dad, we did take it much more slow. We didn't. The only one we really rushed through was Big Bend, and that was only because we actually had to.
You went
get
to
back
Big
home.
Bend?
Yeah,
When?
we were gonna camp there.
You were that far
I camped
south?
in Carlsbad.
Really?
I'm telling you, I saw.
Wait, was that
everything
when I was living in Oklahoma?
Correct.
So you were. Fuck you! You should have just came and saw me.
I didn't have time. That was the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Like once I hit Big Bend, it was like we need to leave and go home.
Yeah.
Like because we were getting back. We missed like snowstorms. It was getting fucked.
Well, see, like
This
for
was
me,
last year's winter.
see, like for me, when we're on a road trip, it's like there's no going home. It's like we just keep going. It's like, oh, that looks cool
That's
here.
the way
That
that
looks
I
cool
wanted
here.
to be, especially with
Yeah, I know.
Lorenzo's trip. And
Yeah.
I don't blame Lorenzo or necessarily myself for wanting to go back. Like we hadn't seen our girlfriends at the time for weeks. Like they were going to school soon.
True.
So like.
It doesn't matter to me personally.
No, but you're 2 weeks into a trip already,
get
and
it,
it's like, well, you know, Lorenzo's technically only 18. It
Yeah.
was what it was,
Yeah.
and I can't blame the kid for not wanting to be in the car with me any longer. You know what I mean? Like at a point, you're in 2 weeks in the car alone with another person. Not like we had a third.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
travel alone.
Yeah.
Like
I was
said,
gonna say,
with
me
your
too.
family.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I like traveling alone too.
And if
I-
I went alone, I would be perfectly fine.
I would stay out
out
for a
there.
month at a time.
I set up a
Right.
bed in the back of my Volkswagen Jetta.
Volkswagen Passat for me, boy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, if I had
A Forerunner's the
money-
goal one day. Toyota Forerunner.
Yeah, that would be that. I've seen so with the cliff jumping I've done, I've seen a lot of people go full gung ho into the van life.
Yep.
And
Oh, you were telling me about that.
yeah,
It's pretty
so
interesting.
I mean,
So
I've seen
cool.
people take like Toyota Forerunners, take out the back seats.
Yep.
So
Right,
it's just
and
the two
it's
front seats.
flat, right?
Yeah, I mean, not even so it's flat. They built in an elevated bed.
Like a
so
bed,
they've
yeah.
got. I
Oh,
saw.
really?
You could
There
just
were-
literally live like sleep.
There was a
everywhere.
couple living out of their car. I got a few friends who do this now. Set up. They built. Well, this one couple in particular built like a wooden frame, a wooden bed frame that fit in their car, like fit the exact contours of their car to maximize space. Had all their just a whole bunch of like a whole drawer set up. So they had like clean clothes, dirty clothes, and then all their food and cooking equipment in the back of their car.
So
There's
cool.
one girl who I met this summer when I drove down to Texas, living full time for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years with her dog out of her van.
That's
Traveling not the country, the continent. She's in Mexico right now, planning a trip to drive from Mexico through like California, Oregon, Washington, up into Canada, and I think she's going all the way to Alaska. There's a few other good people who I've met who they have like a small side career converting buses into full
like
living
school
vehicles.
buses?
School buses.
Oh,
They've got
that's
like
so cool.
the
That's
mini
interesting.
ones, and then they've got full
They got the
size school
chariots.
buses.
They got the retard buses.
They got the little tart carts. They've got the full.
Hey, when you think about it, though, that's convenient. They have another door, and you can like be lifted up too. Pull right back in.
Oh,
Nice.
There goes
Spills
the beer.
Paper towel will be gotten when I finish this.
You should let Teddy back in.
I think I need another beer.
Teddy loves beer.
Tart cart.
He actually loves beer.
Tart cart.
So, do you need another beer, bro?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
I have an
Jeez.
opener up here somewhere if you need
I
it.
think the Budweiser's got a twist.
There you go. I'm gonna get this. Dude, your cliff jumping though, it fucking amazes me the scope that it has. When I look at some of the other people, like the creators.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Some of those guys are just on a whole nother level. The way they move their body in the air,
It's crazy. Like
it's
for me, like I
unreal.
know I could do it. I'm really athletic, but it's just a mental.
It's a
thing.
mind
It's a
game.
mental thing, dude.
I mean, there's tricks I know I can do that I've done hundreds of times. I'll still get on the edge of a cliff and my heart is just racing.
How could it not?
Yeah, because every
How
every
could it
time
not,
is different. You never know.
Yeah, the adrenaline is unreal. But this is the first season that I've actually been able to, first winter I've been able to get back into snowboarding. So
Even though there's no fucking snow?
you have no idea. So 2 winters ago when we
I do
got,
have an idea. I don't get paid.
No, I know that, but I mean, 2 winters ago, I tore my shoulder,
Sure.
and that ended my season.
Winters?
Yeah, so not last winter, the winter
You
before.
fucking cliff jump in the winter?
I'm going on Sunday, and
He's talking about snowboarding.
no, I cliff jump year round. Wait, I'll show you.
No, but you're talking about your injury when you snowboard.
I'm talking about snowboarding, but I cliff jump year round.
Yes.
I'll show you this.
Look at his getup when he's going into an ice cold pond.
Huh?
It looks ridiculous.
You got like a dry suit or some shit?
Yeah, wetsuit. In the snow.
That's sick as fuck.
How ridiculous is this motherfucker?
I go year round. I
In
love
the
it.
snow, that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's such sick footage.
I'll send you the video. You
That
can
is
clip this.
sick footage.
But yeah, that's the GoPro. I put that thing in my mouth.
That's a sick edit too.
Mm-hmm.
And you even have it in your mouth too, so when
I
like
got the float case,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the big orange float case.
so if
and
it
I
gets
just
ripped
bite
out,
it.
just in case.
Oh yeah, that shit'll just float.
Yeah. But still, dude, like
Yeah.
you got a dry suit or a wetsuit on, but
Yeah,
like,
I got the wetsuit
your face
on.
still feels it. So like,
I took 2 jumps that day back to back. I'll jump year round, but I won't do it for long.
yeah, not for long.
I won't
And
do it
not
for
as long as the summertime.
Oh no, summertime.
You'll stay there all
we
day.
go all day. I mean,
Yeah.
we do full trips.
I mean, tell them about your trip because this shit was some of the coolest.
Which
shit.
one?
Well, you went to another one, right? So tell them about.
So
Texas.
I've
tell me
done-
about Texas. I didn't get to hear too much.
yeah. So
I really, speaking of which, I really want to go to Big Bend. That shit seems.
where's Big Ben?
Oh, now that I told you you went,
No.
that I went.
Well, no, like I've always wanted. It's always intrigued me
No,
because
but I'm sure I just lit your fire.
Yeah,
I got there
because-
first.
What's Big Ben?
So it's literally right on Mexico.
On the
And
Rio Grande?
I mean, to the point where.
Oh.
so you know the Big Bend in Texas's southern border,
Oh,
Big
Bend.
okay.
Big
I'm-
Bend. And
with the Big
I'm
Bend in the
hearing
Rio
Big
Grande.
Ben, and I'm thinking of
Big Bend.
Fucking the
Europe.
town, Big Bend,
Yeah.
Bend,
Bend.
And there is literally a fucking immigration station right outside of the fucking park. Right there. If the most stern state trooper comes up to us, he goes, "What you gentlemen doing?" We're like, "Going to the park."
I
He's
invoke
like,
the
"Have
fifth."
a great day." He was so pumped. He's like, "Have a great day." Next one, stalled to the side.
No way. We're gonna have you come over here.
Literally. So it was like he went from being the coolest motherfucker in the world to us to obviously whatever was going on there, or if it was a random check. But and that looked like,
I don't know what I do
it genuinely looked like someone was gonna.
Yeah.
Fucking.
No, but like what I like about that area too is like it's very deserty, and there's a town out there called Marfa, Texas, and there's like a legend about the Marfa, Texas lights. It's like some supernatural phenomenon where like out in and no one has ever been able to explain or find out what the cause of them is. People think it's UFOs, spirits, Native American spirits or whatever, but it's really interesting. I've watched documentaries on it. Like I've known about it since I was little, and I've always wanted to go to Marfa, Texas to see the lights. Right, like out in the distance on these ranches, you just see these like lights, and they're like orbs, basically, just like rise up from the horizon in the distance and like move in all crazy directions and then just disappear out of nowhere. So it's kind of become like lore over there in Marfa, and Marfa's become really kind of like a very little mini Austin. It's just very like hippie, and it's like an art center, like in the middle of the Texas desert. So it seems really cool, like a really cool cultural place to go to, and maybe catch some lights there. So I've always wanted to go, and it's like in the vicinity of Big Bend. So it's like if you're at Big
I
Bend,
should have fucking went.
you might as well go to Marfa. Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're going anywhere near Roswell, you got to go to Roswell,
Right.
New Mexico.
No, you know what I need to go back to Texas for though, because I've never been to El Paso.
Dude, I want to go to El Paso so bad. I don't know what it is, but I just want to go to El Paso.
Well, my cousin told me it's fucking weird. Like it really is
Like
fucking
odd.
weird.
It seems like a
Odd.
really nice city. Like it seems like the people are absolutely great in El Paso.
It's not a city though. It's
Well, like
a
town. It's a town.
Like it is a city.
It's a
I'm
city,
agree
but
with you,
no,
it's not like
but
this,
it's not like a
like,
city
New York
feel.
or-
It's not like a city
town.
feel, and that's what
Yeah.
and that's exactly my point. Is that
Yeah.
like I was gonna say, like I've heard the people there are absolutely great,
Mm-hmm.
great people in El Paso,
but strange.
and it's a city,
But
but it seems very strange.
no,
to
the
me.
people are strange as well.
No, it's
They
just in
adapt to the
general,
environment.
like
Yeah.
it very well just seems very
You know,
strange.
if you live in a haunted town, you have an eerie look.
Oh.
to you.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like the El Paso people.
That's what it seems
According
like
to
to
my
me.
cousin,
Mm.
the El Paso people have like a way about them that you just kind of enter
It's
the
like
town.
that
you're
Well,
like,
I have a comment
You're
about
like,
that
you're
too. But
here.
like, have you ever heard of the song like by Marty Robbins, El Paso?
Right.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Right? Hell yeah,
Classic.
I'm not
absolutely.
gonna sing.
But,
Everybody.
but El Paso is right on the border of New Mexico, and it's funny you say that about strange people and like strange sightings, and just a weird, odd
how
feeling.
Fucking weird are people from New Mexico? They're
Not even people,
they're
just
fucking weird.
New Mexico is the
Walter White's from New Mexico.
No, so
New Mexico is the strangest state I've ever been to.
when you sent me
Beautiful state.
when you sent me on that Route 66 route,
It was strange.
understatement.
Route 66 in New Mexico is like borderline creepy.
I'll pull up some shit for you.
I want to
Kev.
see these
Well,
pictures.
look, like there's
I'm pulling up my.
or if you go to YouTube and you search abandoned gas station, there's actually a
No, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm getting
like-
my pictures from there, from the post.
yeah. But like if like there's a video I came across on YouTube. If you just type in abandoned gas station, it's by a channel called Forgotten USA, and
Yeah, your
It's,
fucking channel, you jerk off. Fucking promote yourself.
it's
Promote yourself, everybody.
It's literally-
Nah, fuck
it's-
this guy. Fuck this
it's literally
guy. Fuck
right
this
on
guy.
Route 66, and it was
Forgotten
just
USA by Andrew Grasso. He won't admit it, but he makes one of the most interesting fucking channels known to man. If you want to get into, what would you say? Just some exploring of America.
American history, American culture, exploring the country, basically.
Yeah.
Forgotten places, abandoned places, and the history behind them. Essentially, is what it is.
Absolutely.
Abandoned places is
I don't know
something
why
I've
you
always
wouldn't
found
want to.
interesting.
That's basically what my channel's based off.
But that is literally his channel is one of the coolest things. So if you scroll to the right on this, you'll see some abandoned trade posts. So that was the.
Is that Twin Arrows?
Was the Twin Arrows
Let me see.
in Forrest Gump?
Yeah, that's Twin Arrows. That was in Forrest
So
Gump.
I will clip some of these pictures that I took, as
Yeah.
well as some of Andrew's pictures and videos that he took.
So the Twin Arrows trading post.
Please explain this. It's amazing.
Yeah. So the Twin Arrows trading post.
These twin arrows.
Yeah, that's
Those
it.
are them.
And it's very
took a
sad
few
because one of
pictures
those
of
one of
those.
those arrows now is actually falling down. It's very sad.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's sad, but
One of the ones I took a picture of.
yeah, one of them. Well,
Really?
one of them
Since
fell down
when?
since like within the past year.
It had to because
Really
I went
sad.
there.
Yeah.
I went there in the spring of or winter of last year.
Yeah, no, it's really sad.
Oh fuck!
It's sad. There's been a lot of
They're gonna restore. Somebody has to.
there's been a lot of efforts to try and restore, but it just hasn't worked as of
You
now.
want to go do it?
I would love to.
All right,
Seriously.
let's go do it.
But-
Kev, you in?
I'm down.
But the Twin Arrows trading
Well,
post.
you need to look at some of the pictures around that because there's different places that are 10 minutes away from that, or 15 or 20 minutes away from that.
which I will get to because I have it all in my head.
Because you
So,
told me
I'm in
where
like
to
the
go.
I
Grand
told
Canyon
Sal
now.
exactly
Did I
where
go
to
the
go.
wrong
So
way?
go backwards a little
The other
bit.
way.
So the Twin Arrows trading post. Motherfucker, cut that out. So the Twin Arrows trading post is
I'm
right.
not cutting that out. You kidding me? We're all allowed to make mistakes here. You're on 3 beers? You're on 3 beers.
I am actually. I gotta open it.
So
So the Twin Arrows trading post is right along. What is it? I-40 in Arizona or I-44?
what's the new one?
I think it's I-40.
I think it's 40.
Yeah.
I think that's
so right along I-40 right near Canyon Diablo, Arizona.
correct.
And it was actually one of the filming locations in the movie Forrest Gump. Everybody knows Forrest Gump. Everybody's seen Forrest Gump.
Nope.
So everybody except this guy. So if
You've
you
never seen Forrest Gump?
I've seen clips of it. I've never sat down.
so then
and
you've
seen
probably seen the clip where Twin Arrows trading post is in it. If you
Yeah,
remember,
it's the running away scene.
if you remember the running scene-
I'm telling you.
I've
you
seen it at
actually-
the boot camp scene. That's it.
Oh, really? Okay.
so most normal people, if you've seen the running scene in Forrest Gump, and they're running across the country, right? There's a shot of them on a 2-lane road with mountains in the background, and that 2-lane road is actually Route 66. So they're running along Route 66, and they're running right past the Twin Arrows trading post,
Yep.
and you can see in the actual movie Forrest Gump the
Isn't that cool?
2 arrows sticking up and the building to the left of the shot as they're running and it's like a drone shot from above, so you can see the 2 arrows and you can see the trading post in it as well. And at that time it was still open, it was still operational, and it was nowhere near in the state of disrepair it is today. So it's quite sad to see.
Andrew, I want you to actually look at
So-
what I have on the page there and then scroll to the right a little bit.
So
Tell
then-
me about how bad my photography is, but also I wasn't into it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll give you some lessons. So, this is one of my favorite places in the whole country too, just because of how much stuff there is congested in this one little 20-mile radius right, area of Arizona, right? You have the Twin Arrows Trading Post. You go literally like 2 miles down the highway, and you take the exit, and you're in a place called, well, it's still technically Canyon Diablo, but it's a ghost town, right?
It's literally called Ghost Town.
It's
Or
well,
what is it
it's
called?
not Canyon. Sorry. It's called Two Guns, Arizona.
Two Guns. That's what
Two
it is,
Guns,
Two Guns.
Arizona.
That's the little Alamo thing you were looking at the end.
Yep.
The last picture you
Okay,
showed me.
like the broken down. So I was actually going to say,
And
going
there's-
back to the abandoned places,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff I explored through Colorado, but go on.
Sweet. Yeah, dude. I've never been to Colorado yet, so I can't.
You haven't
wait.
been
Crazy.
there?
Can't wait to get there. Nope.
Dude, you're gonna love it.
The whole state's
my-
wild.
Have you been to the Rockies?
So we drove.
Sorry to
past
fuck
them.
Not at all.
I mean, that's what a
That's-
fucking podcast is. Just go.
Yeah.
all
Yeah, look at my
top.
pictures while we talk.
I-
You're bubbling.
I have pictures of all
so
this
you
You're
shit.
drove-
bubbling.
Oh shit.
That's fine.
Um,
So you drove past the Rockies. You
Yeah, so we
did
didn't-
you go to the sand dune? Did you go?
no,
to
so I went to the gate and they asked me $30 to.
Oh, okay.
and
So,
I'm like,
so
no.
then that's
So then
why
I went
said that.
north. I went into Denver to my father actually started a Harley Davidson collection of T-shirts back when he got his first Sportster. So when I got my first Sportster,
Right.
I've been continuing the tradition that he put me on. So I went up to Denver to get my T-shirts from that trip. So
That's a little throwback to our first episode.
yeah, good throwback.
See who fucking listened.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
I love all you
so
motherfuckers,
bad.
by the way. All of you motherfuckers. So you drove right past the Rockies.
Yeah, so we kind of drove through the Rockies up to
So did
King
you drive
Solomon's
out-
Falls.
Did you drive out to Kansas, or were you driving up north? What route were
So-
you taking?
When I drove, I started in West Virginia for a small clip jumping trip with my buddies, and then we went
Did you see
into
the
like
River Gorge or no?
yes, we
Have-
did.
so if you were-
Fucking beautiful is
Summersville
that
Lake.
place?
I was just gonna say, did you go to Somersville Lake?
Dude,
That's the annual trip.
how
That's
fucking beautiful
great,
is that
dude.
place?
I've never cliff jumped there. I want to go so badly.
You got it.
You can
They've
take
got
me. I'll buy into it if you take me.
yeah.
Maybe
They've
I'll
got
buy it.
everything from 5 feet to 80 to
Well, you know the one
100
I've
foot
done at this
bridges.
point. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Is it, 22 feet or 25 feet or 30,
30.
feet, whatever.
It's 30.
So I'm not a bitch, but I'm kind of a bitch. So it is what
Dude,
it is.
Somersville Lake.
No,
No, I'm
like-
not a bitch. 30 feet's not soft.
30
but
feet's
like
decent.
when you're talking about the stuff that you've done, it's
Yeah.
like I can't handle this workload that you have. I can't do it.
No, but I mean, there's guys who come who just hang out with us. There's guys who throw like small stuff, and then you've got the kids who are just out of their mind and just huck wild.
Is there any-
AKU?
Is there any
I'd say I'm a step below.
Is
that,
there any
but
judgment though for kids who like
absolutely
don't want
not. No.
No?
Everyone's been at that starting
and
level.
you
That's
explained
good.
this
That's
heavily
good.
in
And
the
I heard
first
that. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure like there's really no like shit talking behind people's
Oh.
back. Like
Not at all.
Well, I'm sure there is some, but realistically, how far can it go? Like you're trying to help people. Like you're trying
Yeah,
to. Get them
everyone's
to the
been
next
in your
level.
Yeah,
shoes, and
exactly.
everyone has.
Like, oh, did you see that stupid fucking jump Johnny had today? I'm sure that happens, but at the end of the day, you're having fun with it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
it's not a
Like,
demeaning.
and
something
if a
like
kid
that.
gets hurt, then it's like you're not laughing about it.
No.
Correct.
Yeah, but-
correct. You're trying to do everything in your power, probably. to make
Yeah,
sure it doesn't
everything
happen.
is. It's all a. Everyone there is there for the same reason, and that was like the main topic
Right.
of the last podcast.
correct.
We're all there for the same reason, doing the same thing, and no, there's no judgment or anything that
Right.
goes around. It's
But we just got to get. We already know, but we need to get Andrew hooked on the Beast Coast because
Yeah.
he's gonna. I know he's gonna love your channel.
no follow the page. It's
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I know that you would love to Forgotten USA.
yeah. I'm
and-
definitely gonna
and
check
also
out some of
look
those
into-
videos because that's a lot of the shit I've
No,
been
look
doing
into.
for the
Yeah,
I
last
think
few
what
years.
you'll like more, or not maybe more, but just as much, is Urbex Explorers. So this is something that he kind of combines with some of his friends. Or
Yeah.
Urbex New Jersey, is it Urbex?
NJ
Explorers?
Urbex, yeah.
NJ Urbex.
We haven't touched that in a while. It's mainly just Forgotten USA now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but at the
I
end
still
of
do the
day-
Urbex stuff on there because it falls into like the category of things
What's
that
Urbex?
are forgotten in
Right.
the USA. Urban exploration,
Oh,
which is
okay.
abandoned exploration.
Right,
Okay.
but at the end of the day, there's a lot of good content on that channel.
Yeah.
Which is why I say, like, you should go and check that out because, like, this motherfucker's a beast too. In the same way you're a beast. I think I'm a beast too in a different way. But
No.
but you know what I mean? Like, the way that you handle your shit, this guy's on his shit with that, and he never promotes it. And I hope that everybody actually takes me at my word when I'm saying like I wish that I could create content at the level that this guy does with his channels, because it's fucking impressive, and I think you would really enjoy it.
Just from that one video you had pulled up on Lake Tahoe, that shit looked pretty interesting.
Yeah,
that was a fun video.
But that was just one video, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm self-conscious about that shit. I try to keep it separate from all the other things I do.
But there's no point. There's no point. I'm at this point now where it's like, because I've never promoted my show on Diamond Talk. I've never really promoted my show much on Danny's show. And like, what's the point? Like
I mean, if they're having you on there for that reason, yeah.
Right? And but same I say to you guys, because I love your content so much, Kev.
Yeah.
That like, especially like the shirt you just fucking brought me to. You know how fucking hyped I am about that shirt.
That was a cool one.
And,
I like that design.
And just the fact that like you know, you're the guy who's put together even just parts of this room have been thoughts that came from conversations we've had. You know what I mean? So like that really.
Yeah, if you want
something.
that artwork and stuff done, that or I could do.
Right.
I could honestly do a like digital stuff
Even,
that you could print on a banner.
I was gonna say even just a print or something like that, but in comparison, like I have this kid over here who does unbelievable fucking work, and honestly, in a way, I'm trying to live up to you guys, because you guys are fucking incredible guys.
No, I mean it's
insane.
That's the best way to go about life. Is you find the people who you relate to, you find the things that you like about them, and actually circling back to the boot camp thing.
So getting back to that.
Yeah, one of the things that our drill instructors taught us is going into the Marine Corps, because it's that whole melting pot and you've got all different types of people from everywhere. You find the people that have something worth learning from, and they explain people as a toolbox. Everyone's going to have their own toolbox, and there's certain tools that you're going to use for themselves.
Correct.
So going back to exactly what you were just saying, you find certain things about certain people's things that you can relate to your own life.
Exactly.
And you take that stuff and however you can implement it to your own life, whether it's a positive way and something you want to do yourself to improve yourself, or you see something negative that someone else does that you want to avoid.
That's like
very true.
And that's the thing that like huge thing is like, well, that's the big concept behind you know, when you read it or do you watch a video about it and stuff, like, do you actually attain the knowledge? And it's like, I actually find that knowledge so fucking valuable when someone goes out and says, don't do this because this is what happened to me and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you guys, I'm sure you're very similar, but when you watch a YouTube video, for me, that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Is the parts where it's like, make sure that you don't do this because I tried this out when I was, and that always hits me. Like, okay, I remember that part.
Because that's not condescending. That's like, this is what worked for me.
Right.
When someone says this is what you should do, that's when red flags for me
it's
go
how you present the information.
It's in the presentation.
If it's I know everything, do this.
But if it's coming from a point of this is what worked for me, so take it and run with it.
Yeah,
that's how you can gauge an intelligent person, because that's someone telling you like, listen, I can't speak for anybody else, but this is what specifically worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I went through. This is the challenges I faced. This is, you know, and you'll probably find, like, generally speaking, when someone kind of goes through that mode of presenting information, they kind of present it as a thing of like, well, I'm not saying I know better than you, but I tried it for this reason, and if you're experiencing this problem, just try this out, my solution.
Yeah.
It's not so much a this is what you got to do. It's more like a, I've kind of been through what you're doing. I feel you. I figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Either take it or don't. It's what it is. And for me, obviously, and I know you're very similar, I'm going to dive deeper on why what I'm doing isn't working.
Yeah.
But that information of telling me what the right answer is what I'm paying attention to so much more than the bulk of the video that's telling me this is how it works, this is how I do it, this is how it works, this is how I do it, this is how it works. And then it gets to that portion where they self-critical.
That's self-reflection.
I tried this shit, it didn't really work. Yeah, in the same way that we talked about everything we've ever talked about, really, especially when it comes to business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many conversations have we had? I'm sure that you felt like, oh fuck, I learned something. I'm gonna go look into this website. Even the last time we were talking, like I could hear the psyched in your voice. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. He's got a point. I have my way of doing things, but he's got a point. Let me look into this. And even if it doesn't work for you, you're like,
No, it's just that information to look, because if it does work, it does. If it doesn't, keep doing
I wish I
what you
could
do.
tell you though, because we were having this conversation the other day of how, like, every time I hang up the goddamn phone with this guy, I'm thinking for the next 30, 45 hour, or until I go to sleep, or even maybe until I wake up the next day. I'm just thinking about something because it was a productive conversation. And I think
That's how you know it's a productive conversation.
but the deeper point, to my point, is those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. People that make you really think, evaluate, and try to do better for yourself.
Yes. And question yourself. And it's not always
That's huge.
holding hands and singing Kumbaya, everything's great. No.
That shit doesn't work.
Calling each other on your shit, being honest, being transparent. And another thought I want to put out there is, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're the smartest person in a room, you're not getting any better.
Correct. That's absolutely true.
You are not getting any better. If you're constantly, like, everyone's looking up to you, oh, what should I do, this, that, right? Like, and you're finding, like, that you have the answers to everything, to everybody you're around. If
you need to surround yourself.
You need to surround
yourself.
yourself. You need to insert yourself into a different room to elevate yourself to a different level, because you will be forced to level up in that context.
That's breaking out of your comfort zone.
It is breaking out of your comfort. Yes, if you're the smartest person in the room, you are complacent, and complacency is
that's not
one
true.
of the
It's when
places
you
where
realize
reasons go to die.
Right, like if you don't realize that you've become that. That's
It doesn't matter if you realize it or not, because whether or not you're complacent, you're comfortable, and people want to be comfortable by nature.
Sure.
When you're complacent, that's where dreams go to die. You're not going to grow. You're not going to get any better, and you're going to be the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? So if you hang around with 5 losers who don't take care of themselves, who smoke, who indulge in video games for 16 hours a day, right, with Dorito dust on their chips, right? And those are your 5 friends, and then they go drink all night and wake up and do it all over again. I can guarantee you're going to be the 6th. I can guarantee you.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So, and that's why, to your point, it's important to find friends who compliment you, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's okay to not be
if
good
you can
at everything.
Feed off of one
Exactly. If you can be good at, say, one thing, and your really good friend is good at another, say another thing, right? Like, if I'm very creative, Sal's very logical, you're very creative with graphic design, I'm very creative with photography, they all work off of each other, right? And they all complement each other, basically, right? So, like, where my strengths are, those are your weaknesses. Where your weaknesses are my strengths. So they make up for each other, Yeah. And that's how dream teams are built. That's how shit gets done in a group.
Yep.
Yep.
No, I completely agree.
Boys, we're taking a break.
Yeah, I got
Sounds
this.
good. Where did we leave off?
I think we were talking about a lot of exploring.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of did end the conversation kind of where we were leaving off, and it was kind of about good friends, to be honest. I think that's where we were at, actually.
Yeah, building off of each other.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love having these conversations, and especially on this show, because I think it's important. Like, I love having conversation. I love bringing on new opinions and whatnot, but up front, foremost in my mind a lot of times is I want to put out a good message for people. If it's their first time ever looking at our show, I gained something valuable. And the conversation that we just had about friendship and about, finding valuable people and making sure you're not kind of sucking down to a bad crowd. Like, if you find yourself surrounded by people you feel lesser, or maybe you're above them, like, change that. And I think that's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, conversations to have on the show, because I think it's meaningful. I think it could be meaningful for basically everybody. You don't have to be a cliff jumper. You don't have to be a baseball coach. You don't have to be a fucking video producer or whatever the fuck, you're an AV tech. You don't have to be anything to understand that surrounding yourself by good people is going to be beneficial to your life. Yeah, and that's why I love those conversations. It's applicable to everybody.
Exactly.
You could be Bill Gates, but if you're going to surround yourself by pieces of shit, at the end of the day, it's going to come back to you.
It's finding the right ways and the right people to just improve upon yourself.
Absolutely, without a doubt, man.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, yeah. Everybody, I think that some of the stuff that I want to talk about today is a little bit past the limits of what I think YouTube and just general allowances will let us.
So unfortunately, we're going to have to place it behind a paywall to continue.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's unfortunately. I mean, this is like kind of Andrew alluded to before. There's a lot of stuff that went into making the production of today's episode, but all the episodes before that, and with the way that the content's going to tend towards the end of this show, I don't feel comfortable letting this out to the general public. So if you are interested, especially in Kevin's story, but more so in Andrew or what I have to say, diving a little bit deeper into some of the topics we talked about today, just go give us a look over on our Patreon page. You don't even have to really put in much money at all. $1 a month, $1.50 a month gets you access to our episodes that not everybody could see. Right? So if you're willing to contribute a little bit every month to keeping this show running, which is going to be, not cheap in the future,
We really appreciate it.
Good value.
We sincerely appreciate it. It's a fantastic value.
But I think for the value you're going to get, especially even with the first 2 shows, you're going to get something that you will never hear on WTP on YouTube. It's just never going to happen. So
it can happen.
I hope to see you guys there. If not, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Everybody else, this was Kevin. Kevin, thank you for coming on again, dude.
Pleasure.
This was
Thanks for
great.
having me on, guys.
Absolutely amazing, man. And obviously, you're going to be a continued guest anytime you want to come on.
Yep, of course.
Let us know, or anytime you got a new product, let us know. We'll
Let's
be
do it.
pushing a little bit for you. You know what I
Sounds
mean?
good. Let's
do it.
You've meant a lot for the the startup of this and just the continuation.
I
Of
can't
a good thing.
can't wait to see what it becomes.
Me neither, man.
No, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Me too.
I'm
Boys,
excited for you
This
guys.
is just the beginning, but thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.
Till the next one.
I'ma make all these bitches say, damn, I wish I were the fucking state. I wanna be something, not nothing. Trapped inside my dream and I'm running away from these demons. But the feeling's so good, I'ma keep dreaming.